Moving further away from the political landscape, just wanted to take a opportunity to talk about like a pop cultural moment for a sec. I mean, not in the vein of like, super pop culture, but this lane of, internet celebrity slash Hawk Tuah girl. She did an interview.
Inner celebrity.
Yeah, I appreciate you trying to combine the words there, but that was tough. I think the way Chris Cody does it on the Levitard show is he takes like the first letter from one word and then just replaces the first letter of the second word and then mixes it together. So it would have just been a
you
Liberty.
Love you some Dan Levitard, and I swear to God, and
That's
I
my
do
shit.
like Levitard and Poppy.
I've been listening to it for years.
You like that, but you're sports ball.
But that's the thing about their show. Their show isn't like it's a sports talk show. Even when they were on ESPN, it was slightly more. But like what they would do, so it would have like all these hallmarks of a sports talk show, but they would quickly veer off topic and never go back to sports. But that was part of the joke. And like, that's how our podcast tends to do sometimes. But anyway, I think Chris Cody would call it a celebrity, but no, back to the Hawk Tuah girl. She was
a celebrity.
A celebrity. Yeah. So she did an interview with Bill Maher on his podcast the other day. And it took like I didn't watch the entirety of the interview. It was largely uninteresting to me and like the media that I consume, but it did get to an interesting topic about how she should, take her viral moment, capitalize on it, and go from here. And there's a conversation to be had, sparked by that idea.
So I was hoping this went a video.
You need to do a podcast. You do it right here on Club Random. If you do it my way, sex expert. And I'll tell you why. Wait. I'll tell you why. Because you need to, I told you were given this chip. You were given the chip of fame. Now you want to trade that in for something that uses that, but takes it to the next level. You have to like trade on what you're already known for. That's the one thing you're known for. So you could do a podcast for like, I don't know if there's anything from somebody that age with that point of view, but it couldn't be frivolous. You have to take it seriously. Could you do that?
Possibly.
And talk about sex, but seriously, serious issues, because there are a lot of really serious issues. I mean, there's one that's related to what made you famous.
Yep.
What am I going to say? You have no idea what I'm going to say.
I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I'm kind of nervous.
I'm going to tell you where it's going. You learned that thing about spitting from porn. That's where that came. What? You did. Maybe not directly, but trust me, like that, the idea of spitting, first of all, it's gross. It's not necessary. It never existed before porn. Do you know that? Do you realize that?
Yeah.
And porn is not benign. It is not. And it has warped the minds of the kids in your generation, especially the guys.
Yeah, they come up with some sick shit.
Yes.
People are just...
Yeah, no, I know they are. People are sickos. And, whatever floats your arc, but...
Whatever floats your arc.
Your arc.
Oh.
I visited once, it's in your state. It's the, museum, the Holy Land Museum, I think they call it. You never been there where they have the statue, the Jesus riding a dinosaur?
Do they really?
Well, they believe that Jesus lived on the earth at the same time as the dinosaurs, which is really stupid.
You think dinosaurs are real?
Did you graduate high school?
I did.
And do you think they taught you anything?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a few things about numbers, but other than that, nope.
Right. It is the saddest thing.
It is. They don't teach you anything you need to know about life. I worked at a gas station for 3 years and learned how to write a check there. Our school didn't teach us that.
All right. So,
Look. His white man explaining to her the way he was condescending, but also you could tell him in his mind, he was thinking, I want to fuck this chick after, because you could hear the change in the tone.
All right, hold on a second.
Voice.
Pause. Unmute your mic, Carol.
Sorry, Evan just came home.
Oh, welcome home, Evan. So before we get there, because I was going to talk about that too.
Welcome home, white dude for Harris.
Yeah, y'all are hilarious. Y'all are fucking killing me. Before we get to that part of it, so first of all, Bill Maher is correct. He had been talking about like, so she had been given basically a chip, right, that you can cash in. This is her.
Recording?
I don't know.
No, you just told me to unmute. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so Maher was.
He muted me.
No, I didn't. Maher was talking about like she'd been given an opportunity with this, viral moment, and like, these things come and go, and this is an opportunity that just generally the normal people don't have to like become this viral sensation overnight, and how she should take that opportunity and cash it in. And like, a podcast might be the way to do that. Clearly, if you listen to the entirety of the interview, I listened to more of it than that.
D, I love you. Did we watch the same fucking interaction? Because I got a completely different take.
No, listen, hold on. Wait. I'm getting there.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that. Because
there
was more video that I watched than just what we played. But I was talking about this specific thing. So capitalizing on like whatever momentum you have socially at a moment like this is difficult to do. But he's right that she should do it. And one of the things he was talking about is starting a podcast. Now, if you've watched the Maher interview, like one of the conclusions you'll draw is that she's not ready to host a podcast. Like, I mean, I guess if she was doing it at some kind of network with a co-host and producers and like a staff that kind of could coach her up over time. And look, and this is coming from like three idiots from Twitter who started their own podcast and had to figure out like how to do this from scratch with no coaching whatsoever. And I got to tell you, turning on the microphone and turning on the camera and get in front of you fuckheads every single week. And I mean that respect. I appreciate you for listening. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, share this podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching. It's extraordinarily difficult to come up with like, a feasible line, like producing a show and trying to talk about it in an interesting manner that keeps the co-host engaged and the audience engaged and do it it's hard. It's difficult.
And as you said, that young lady didn't seem to have, first of all, be interested at all. Like he kept pitching the idea when she showed no interest at all.
No, she's in another clip. She did say that it was a good idea, but what he was pitching specifically, I don't know if that is necessarily her lane, like sex expert. That's clearly not her thing, but I understand what he was doing there, right? He's saying like in the vein of what you became famous for, that's the way you should try to capitalize off of it. And then later on pivot, right, to do something, broader. I don't think sex expert is her thing though. I think, pop culture, music, social issues would probably be more in line with where she should go. But also she's like, 21 fucking years old. She talked to the kids.
Lady in a bar.
21?
Nothing against her, but like, what the fuck is she?
No, but listen, like, so, I don't know what the fuck the kids are listening to or watching on YouTube these days. Watching a bunch of streamers play games, likely. I mean, they got the Kai Cenat guy. He's pretty popular, extraordinarily popular YouTuber and whatnot. She could go into whatever her version of that lane is. I don't think it's sex expert. But also, one of the things he was talking about too, one of the things she had spoken about previously is how, like, given her age and her life experience, she doesn't want to be in a position where she's overly sexualized. It's just like, again, it was a funny moment, but that's
okay.
not,
That ship sailed.
well, no, but, and I'm talking about in terms of like hypersexualized, right? She doesn't want to be just known only for that again, and that's what Maher was.
He forgot, go on, have a normal life.
But okay, in all fairness, though, was it not for that, she wouldn't be known at all.
But that's what Maher was saying. He was like, you got to capitalize on what you're known for, and you can pivot later. But then this is just like the issues I'm sure a lot of women go through when they take the public spotlight. You have to try and create this boundary between your public perception and like being sexualized because that's just the nature of society for good and bad, right? If not for that, she probably wouldn't have had this viral moment and be doing all of this shit and be a, internet celebrity and going to WWE and being on the Bill Maher show. So he's right about that. And, I would assume that because she quit her job, she's probably looking for a way to capitalize financially off of this, and the podcast / streaming show wouldn't be a bad idea. Just maybe not in the vein of sex expert, or at least,
hey, Donut,
maybe she should have a co-host that has the expertise and she's like the comedic relief or something on the side. Also, we can talk about the other issue. Y'all are silly. The other issue with Bill Maher in that interview, where it seems, it did get creepy at points, like you said, Ty. It appeared as though over the course of the conversation, it was like he was trying to smash that after the show. I'm like,
for real? Like, I am a woman, and those clues are very fucking evident.
Yeah,
and the way he changed his tone. And the way he was talking to her, I don't know, it just made me feel some type of way. And it was like, to me, it felt like, and as I said, to me, not how it may have been intended or whatever, but how I took it was.
Now, if you go watch the whole thing, you're not wrong. I'll say that.
But he was like, come to me, girl.
Yeah, it was a lot of that.
Talk to me.
It was a lot of that going on.
Let me know. Unleash on Uncle Bill.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Yeah, let me tell. Yes, yes.
But also,
Donut is not as sleepy as she pretends to be.
Right.
She's Kaiser Soze right now.
Not as high either. Speaking of like sexualizing your guest and co-host on your podcast, Carol, you're looking quite lovely in bed there. But no, you're absolutely right about the vibes Maher was giving off. But it's also complicated because it's not just that he want like. I assume that there is some genuine interest in helping her. Like, I don't like Bill Maher as a person, generally speaking, but the idea that he's been doing this for as long as he does lend some credibility to the fact that there is some talent in there, an understanding of how being a media personality works. And to some degree, it did sound like he wanted to be like a genuine mentor, and he wants to help this person capitalize off their fame in such a way that like they don't have to go back to working at the fucking gas station.
But there's still the slight implication.
But you know what? There ain't nothing motherfucking wrong about the gas.
What were you saying, Carol?
I think there's still some implication, like there's maybe a mentorship, but it may come with a price.
Oh no, he also wants to fuck. There's no doubt about that. but there's also just like the natural Bill Maher condescension of like when he has conversations with people that he doesn't think are his or at the moment intellectual equals. And this ain't no shot at the Hawk Tuah girl. Like she just like holding court on like a public platform like that. It does take some time and some energy and some training if it's something you've never done, and she clearly hadn't done that yet. But that's not
okay. I know some shit about Bill Maher from like 1994, but that's a whole other. So that is
like personally
kind of clouding. Yeah. So that's clouding my perspective.
No, your perspective isn't clouded. Bill Maher wants to smash. Like we're already taking that for granted. That is back into the conversation.
Him at that time and some interactions that he had.
All right, spill the dirt on Bill Maher
back in those days.
No, spill the dirt on Bill Maher. Make this episode of the podcast. No, make this episode of the podcast go viral like the Hawk Tuah girl. Go ahead and do it. The title of this, particular clip on the YouTube is going to be "Hidden Secrets About Bill Maher's Perversity Revealed." Capital letters, exclamation points.
Okay, I got a whole lot.
Asterisk 1990s.
I got a whole lot of secrets, dude. I got a whole lot of shit.
All right, well, you on this podcast for a reason. You got to burn. You got to burn one of these bridges here. Sorry.
So
don't use names.
So I was dating this guy, this French guy.
No names.
Tattoo parlor to get this rooster tattooed on his pelvic area. Okay, don't ask. I don't know. The shit was and he ran into Bill Maher.
Is this like some kind of allusion to cock?
And Bill was with a couple of girls, looked very much like, I wish I knew her name because I would like to refer to her by her name as
Haley.
opposed to Hot Tuah girl.
Haley. And he also talked about that, like you need to get away from Hawk and transition to Haley. We need to like,
Haley,
make you humanize you more, get your personality out there, not just anyway.
And he showed up at the tattoo parlor to get a tattoo with these two girls that he was with. Like I said, you said Haley is her name. And he had an interaction with him. And as I said, this was in like 1990 fucking.
We don't have we don't need a specific year, mid-90s.
But, and the way that he fucking moved and the things that he said, that he had these girls and he was like, oh, fucking proud of himself. Hold on.
Wait, he was proud of himself for what?
He was all proud of himself.
Huh?
For his invention of the toilet paper.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, wait.
Yeah, in the middle of this like viral story about Bill Maher interaction from the 90s, you've got your like microphone coming unplugged while it's wrapped in a toilet paper holder instead of a mic stand.
YouTube, you can, there you go. Here's
and now we've got Carol rubbing her pussy in bed. Like this is just, it's all coming together.
But Bill was a very
just a kitty.
He was very proud of himself for like
because he was hanging with some girls. Oh, he was just like
that he could, and
he had swag because he thought he was running shit.
Yes, that part. So we're laying in bed and I'm looking at this fucking rooster, fucking France cock tattoo.
Not his actual cock, but his cock tattoo. And this is not Bill Maher you're lying in bed with. This is the dude you were out with.
But yeah, and he was like, Jesus, I just ran. And we're sitting, he was like, I just ran into, and this is when, like in the politically incorrect days. And he was like, do you know this guy? Like, oh, the so-and-so. And he was like, yeah. He was just like, here, he came into the tattoo parlor and going. And just the way that he treated, talked to, and his overall like presence with the girls that he was with. Like he was just, like I said, fucking proud of himself. And she is an embodiment of the type of girls that Bill Maher had around him at that time. And he came in cock of the walk style with that. And like I said, I love politically incorrect. I didn't think much of it. And it was like, oh, shit, I like this show or whatever. So now when I see him and I hear him talking and I think about that time. And so when the conversation that he was having with her, it just, I don't know if it makes sense, if I'm making sense, but it's like a trigger backwards of like.
No, you supposed to have the dirt on Bill Maher and you like dancing around it. Like, no. I mean, are you saying you think he kicks it the same way he was kicking it 30 years ago? Because I don't think that's what it is. But I could see how.
I absolutely fucking do. I absolutely fucking do. Leopards don't change their spots. And his have been fucking stained on that fucking flat back for ages.
Wait, so they were, are you sure they're spots then if they're just stained on it? They're just stained.
But as I said, it just stood out to me. It was just a trigger in regards to certain ways that he was speaking to her, certain ways and certain words and phrases that he was using. It took me back to thinking about it, that I was like, this motherfucker is still on that same ass shit.
What shit like, specifically was he on? Like, that's what I want to know.
I'm sleepy.
He's okay.
No, you stay your ass awake. We're almost done.
Put this under reckless speculation because I don't want to be sued. I don't want us to be sued.
Hold your mic in front of your mouth and aim your camera up.
But it's my toilet.
Aim your camera up a little at your face, like it's there. You
Wait
a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Sit in front of the camera.
Okay.
Do this like a professional.
And for lack of a better word or phrasing, his grooming, and maybe, okay, let me say why I feel that way. When I say that the way his tone changed when he was talking to her and the things that he was saying, and I get it, D, what you were saying, that he's like, oh, he just doesn't want her to, but the inflection, the tone, and the way that he was speaking towards her, that's a grooming fucking technique, period. It is. And when I think it was rather obvious for me. It was a trigger for me.
I think it was rather obvious if you watch the entire interview that he was trying to smash the Tuah girl. I mean, that's not in dispute. And like again, no, she's an adult.
As you said, she's 21 years old, and this is just a college girl who is out with her friends and just cameras out like hot dude, whatever. But the way that he was speaking to her directly, and when you listen to his tone and the direction of it, you could tell it was
yes, Ty. He's an older man, like getting his shit off with a younger woman. Like the shit happens all the time.
That bothers me, D. Like it bothers me. Like,
but listen, she's also an adult, right? So she is an adult. She's old enough to drink. She's old enough to do whatever the fuck she wants to. I'm not saying.
You know what? My daughter is 21 years old. She's an adult technically. She goes to college. She's
I wouldn't want Bill Maher trying to fuck your daughter either. And like that goes without saying.
Not because she's just living that college girl life or whatever. And you have this guy who had this platform who comes to you and is saying these things and saying it in this way. And as I'm going to go back to, as I have, that tone.
I get it, Ty. I get it.
Change.
Yes, I understand.
His voice. That is what bothers me. Yes, she's
but bigger picture,
physical age and there is mental age.
Well, I understand that. And that's part of the conversation I was wanting to have. Like, so, you know, she's a young lady, but she's trying to capitalize off, you know, this internet fame. And she's going to be put into a lot of positions where she's going to be trying to work her way up the social ladder. As, you know, most people in her position would, like I certainly would if I had the opportunity. I mean, look, you know, I'm just a moron who goes viral on Twitter from time to time and trying to take advantage of that and turn that into, you know, at least, I mean, not to say that, you know, there's no real barrier to entry to a podcast, but trying to take, you know, viral Twitter celebrity, minor E-list Twitter celebrity at that, and turn that into something more productive like this podcast. So she's going to be in a situation like that. And one of the first things that's going to happen, obviously, is she's going to run into a lot of dudes who will, you know, tell her they'll have, you know, the ability to help her star rise or whatever. And at the end of the day, they're probably just trying to get her in bed. Obviously, given what she's known for, it would just be like and I'm not saying every guy's like this or every person in, you know, doing the media thing is like this, but it'd just be a lot of dudes trying to take advantage of. And like, there was conversations they had on the podcast surrounding kind of the idea of, you know, getting away from being known for just sexualized shit. And this plays into it, but also dudes are trying to get his shit off. I mean, this is pretty clear. I've seen dudes before. I've seen older guys talking to young girls, younger women per se, like over the age of 18, 19, 20, 21, but far younger than them. And this was just a dude who's also doing his job, also trying to help this girl, and also trying to smash all at the same time. And you can't unintertwine those. But I totally get it. Like if dude, Mars back in the 90s kicking in with these younger girls and like you see the same shit in like a video clip, yeah, you're gonna be like, oh, that's the same dude. He kicking it the same way. But at the end of the day, dudes like to smash. Just because you're an old guy don't mean you don't like to, have a.
And I totally get that. I totally get that.
And you ain't the, but and again, you're not the only one.
Made me feel some type of way.
No, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people on the internet lighting Bill Maher up for trying to smash the little young 21-year-old blonde girl from wherever the fuck she was, and like get your jokes off. Like that's what I would say. Like it's going to be a totally normal occurrence for her that some older dude with some platform is going to try and have her on and then be like, hey, you want to go back for some drinks after the show? That's some totally, however you feel about that, it's going to be a totally normal occurrence. For good or bad. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying I encourage that. I'm just saying that is what it is.